Bill Karins, you're exactly the person I want to talk to. First of all, this is an earthquake that struck off the coast of Russia, yet the tsunami warnings were threatening the west coast of the U.S. How is that possible?
Well, it was scary because people didn't know what was coming. And when the geologists and the tsunami experts are the ones that are saying, we just don't know yet, that's when it really got everyone's attention. And that's when even the government officials and like the governor of Hawaii, they were like, let's get out of the way. Let's not have a repeat of what happened in, say, 1946 in Hawaii. That was the biggest tsunami ever in Hawaii. So it's a ways back, but they lost over 100 lives. And there was an earthquake in a similar location, similar strength. And so we try to learn from history, and that's why they said everyone get away from the coastlines.
How does the earthquake affect how much of a tsunami wave we get?
Right. So the first thing we have to understand is that a tsunami is just water that has been displaced. Tsunamis can be created by meteorites, landslides in the ocean, but earthquakes are the most common one, and not every earthquake is the same either. We have different types of earthquakes. So earthquakes are our tectonic plates. Those are the big plates that are well beneath the ocean, deep in the ground, that are colliding against each other, and when they stress enough, we get earthquakes when they hit each other. Now some can actually go up and down, some can slide past each other. The ones that create tsunamis is when the whole plate itself displaces upwards towards the ocean's surface. And so that's, it's almost like a flap. If you ever put your two hands in your pool and you put one hand up in the air, that's kind of what this does. And that displaces water upwards, and that's what creates the tsunami wave. It's as simple as that. It's just a displacement. And this earthquake did show signs, and it was the type of earthquake to displace significant water. It came in as an 8.0 magnitude. When we say magnitude, it's just kind of numbers.
But it sounds big.
It sounds big. But all you need to know is that on this planet, we only average one 8.0 higher a year. That's it. And this was an 8.8. And so this was way even above that. And this actually is going to go down as ranking as the sixth strongest earthquake we've ever recorded.
And how fast can the tsunami travel? What was the time that the west coast of the U.S. had to get ready?
The worst case scenario is if a big earthquake happens near you, close to you, because then you just don't have time to react. These tsunamis can move roughly up about, to give or take a little, 500 miles per hour.
That's huge.
So that's extremely fast. So that's why worst case scenario would be a big earthquake off the west coast of the United States, and everyone has first of all, if you have the problems of the earthquake and the shaking and the damage, and then you have the potential for, if we actually had a tsunami, how much lead time would everyone have that was right on the coast? That's why the first concerns were closer to the epicenter of this earthquake. So Hawaii, because of the math, roughly had about 5 to 6 hours of anticipation time. And, we're well prepared. We know how deadly these events can be. So there are buoys that are actually out there. This is a tsunami warning system. So we know we can see it on our computers. So the first thing that we saw was, okay, is there a tsunami? Did this earthquake create one? And yes, we did. We knew that was happening. We don't quite know what that peak is going to be until it started reaching Japan, like an hour or two later. They had a 1 to 3 foot rise. So that was the first time that I was like, when I was looking at my information, I was like, okay, we have a tsunami. It's 1 to 3 feet. This isn't like this huge, incredible one like 2011. But that was in that direction. Tsunami waves don't always go equally in all directions, so we still had to wait to see what was going to hit Midway, what was going to hit Guam, what was going to hit Hawaii, and what was going to hit the West Coast. And we do know that we did get a 6 foot, about 5.7 feet was the official height in Hawaii.
And what should people do?
You have to listen to your emergency managers. And that water, just as they say, got sucked out first. So it's called like a trough. So if you think of a wave, first it gets sucked out, and so the beach grows. It grows significantly. And so that, if you ever see that and you're at the beach, that's the first sign to run and head in the opposite direction. So that's when people take off, they leave, and then the wave comes in. And the water actually went up. The actual water rise was about 9 feet. It only took 15 minutes for that to occur. So if you think of like a 1.5 story building, or the second floor of your house, 15 minutes. So that's what happened in this case. That water rise wasn't enough to cause a lot of damage, thankfully, anywhere. I haven't heard of anything significant damage besides right near where that epicenter was in Russia.
Has it now diminished as it's traveled across the ocean?
So it does decrease a little bit as it goes. The only thing we're still dealing with on the west coast of the United States is tsunami isn't one wave, it's a bunch of waves. And underneath the ocean, there's all sorts of geography. So the wave can actually break up and bounce in different locations. The water currents are going to be much different than what you normally see. And that's why stay away from the water, stay out of the water. But the threat of anything like deadly is long gone.
And at this point, do people have to worry overnight, tomorrow?
There's always the concern that you could get aftershocks. All of the threats and dangers appear to be gone. And if nothing else, this just proves that when you have a system in place that we were ready for, everything can go smoothly, no lives lost, everyone can return to business as normal. We're prepared for these tsunami events. As I mentioned, as long as they don't occur right off the coast, as long as we have lead time, everyone can be safe and we can move on.
No surfing in tsunamis.
These are waves that even the best surfers would not want to mess with.
Bill Karins, thanks for reassuring us.
Thank you.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.